Steve Hilton claims Sheriff Chad Bianco bent the knee to Black Lives Matter and has based his entire campaign on that assumption. But is he right? Well, let's find out. Smile. It's Cargyle. In late May of 2020, a video surfaced which seemed to show a police officer brutally killing a man named George Floyd by kneeling on his neck. Everybody was outraged. Cities burned, cops were targeted because we didn't know the context. Since then, we've learned that Floyd actually died as a result of an overdose and that the officers were following proper procedures, but the damage was done. The lives of those officers were destroyed, and the nation has never recovered from the lies told by the media. We also know that prior to George Floyd, out of the civil rights movement, everybody knew that if you agreed with the cause, you linked arms with them or you took a knee in solidarity with the protest, which often resulted in praying together. You'd know this if you were actually from this country. But a week after that day in Riverside, all that changed with this bizarre bit of kabuki theater. This is what real submission looks like. Now when someone says take a knee in BLM, this is what's on their minds. But that wasn't true back on June 1st, 2020. Black Lives Matter was just a protest slogan, not the Marxist fundraising arm of the Democrat Party that it is today. But today we see the same media using another video out of context from the same George Floyd time period in an attempt to destroy the life of another law enforcement officer. The same officer who said this.
I think it's time we put a felon in the White House. Trump 2024, baby.
Today, that media is using a 59-second video out of a 2-hour event to shape a shameful narrative against the Riverside Sheriff's Department.
Probably 5,000 people behind us right there through that 2-hour time period of the peaceful protest.
So let's have a look at what really happened that day and what led up to it. On that day, thousands of protesters descended on Riverside because of a curfew the sheriff had imposed.
You're responsible for the curfew, which has all of these people upset. That curfew which interrupts.
Does this look like a man who is ready to submit his department to anything? He's out front of his deputies and he takes on the crowd by himself.
I need you to work with me so we can be heard. These people will resort to violence. That is what they're taught.
Folks, this is what true leadership and accountability looks like. You want to talk to the man? Well, here I am. The buck stops here. The sheriff then told them why there was a need for a curfew.
Now this protest downtown, this rally, let's call it a rally. We don't want it to be a protest. We want it to be a rally to make things different. The reason why we had to put a curfew in this tonight is because what we found and what we were being told by our surrounding areas is that the majority of the people that were going to cause conflict and problem aren't even from Riverside.
But he still needed to de-escalate the situation. He needed the angry crowd to understand that he stood in solidarity with their cause, but against their destructive actions. So what does he do? First, he talks to them. He lets them know that he understands and agrees with their protest.
100% clear to all of you. I hope that there is not one person in this crowd that believes that me or any of these people behind me that work for me agree or condone what happened on that video.
Then he physically demonstrates through body language that he is not threatening them.
Be orderly. Do you not want to do that? That was your question. You just off the chair. This is what I'm trying. Yes, sir. Drop your weapons. Drop your weapons.
Finally, he takes a knee with them. And everybody watching on that day saw this as an act of solidarity with the police in support of Black lives. Everyone.
Sheriff Chad Bianco takes the knee in solidarity with protesters.
But there were also some signs of solidarity between the officers and the protesters.
Wow, so you saw law enforcement coming together with the protesters there in discussion.
All right,
there you go. You see him take that knee.
Sheriff
as they
Chad
talked
Bianco
about
there, taking a moment of solidarity.
Yeah, as they talked about how they were going to handle this moment, the protesters in direct conversation there with the sheriff. Just soak this moment in for a second. Riverside County, look at all the law enforcement officers there that have taken a knee as organizers are getting everybody there to take a knee.
So when a reporter asked him if he was working with the protesters, he answered 100%. And why wouldn't he? They all condemned the Floyd video, but he tried to make sure they don't tear the place apart because of his curfew. Then he lets the interviewer know this is simply a gesture of good faith, but it means nothing if the leaders won't work with him.
And the leaders of this have to work with us to make a difference. And if this is what starts it, then this is what starts it.
We're working with them right now by taking an answer.
100%. 100%.
Did it work?
You know, I walked up and down that line while protesters were laughing and shaking hands and talking with deputies back and forth, and it was a good thing. So we can all stand side by side and say that we all agree on the concept of this protest. But then toward the end, it was very apparent that that's not how it was going to end. You can see the backpacks start coming off. You can see the weapons start coming out of the backpacks. Masks start going on, and then bottles and rocks start being thrown. And then, unfortunately, it's no longer a peaceful protest, and we have to make sure that we protect ourselves, we protect our residents downtown, and our businesses. So, unfortunately, it didn't end peaceful.
So just like what the mainstream media has done over and over to President Trump, they twist something out of context into something else. The Hilton campaign is doing to Sheriff Chad Bianco. But come on, man. What else would you expect from a British Fox News personality?